before you can talk about embracing equity, you have to acknowledge the fact that there are inequities that need to be fixed. So for me, embracing equity means identifying the issues and working together to fix the issues. That is what embracing equity means.
Is that the organization itself had that mindful awareness about creating opportunities for women. And if you're a woman that has shown capability, then there's no stopping you.
We're always looking at, yes, other women should mentor other women, but I think the door can be opened for creating equity by anyone.
Yes.
And men sometimes need to be leaders on that because they're already in the room to make those decisions. So I think the more everybody is conscious of it, from our lead, like we're lucky in Tangerine, we're probably the next leadership, very equitable, but everybody needs to be conscious of it.
Why do I need a sponsor if my job speaks for itself? Everything that I have done speaks for itself because I have put in my best. Why do I need someone to sponsor me to be able to get to the ladder, to recognize me?
There's equality and there's equity, there's sponsorship and there's mentorship.
Right.
They all have different definitions. And if you don't get that right from the get-go, we're missing the point. Equality is that we're pretty much on the same, put everybody on the same starting point, give them the same resources, let's see how they deal. Equity means we are all different, but we are giving everybody sufficient resources to deliver. Sponsorship means I am looking out for you to move you forward. Mentorship is I'm engaged with you to tell you how. Doesn't mean I'm sponsoring you.
Correct.
And in fact, you need a mentor and
a sponsor. Absolutely.
we're so focused on the dealing with the work sometimes that we forget that sometimes getting the work done, if you have someone, an enabler, you will get that.
Equity means recognizing the different nuances and addressing it head on. So how do we ensure that these policies and these conversations are tailored towards this disadvantage, in quotes? Recognize the fact that we're all different and provide resources tailored to the differences. That is what equity is.
I think that organizations have to be deliberate about these things. And we find that a lot of organizations are not deliberate, which now creates some of these inequities that we've talked about, where it now looks like some people are favored and some people are not. So to ensure that there's real proper, what we're really saying with embraced equity, the policies have to be put in place. The human resources teams have to make sure that those policies are actually implemented so that we're not just talking about embracing equity.
It occurred to me that women have to be particular and deliberate about mentorship. And I think that's why it's a little different. And it's a good thing that women are risen and in many organizations.
So definitely Tangerine is very focused on making sure our products and services meet segments' needs, and that includes women as well.
I think that as people, women, men, we also have a role to play in addressing some of these issues. So I'll give you a good example. If you are a star performer, 25 days out of 30 days, the 5 days that you are not available, that you are sick, at some point your organization will start to work around you because they will know, oh, she's a star performer, she's always here. They will adjust. But before you can ask the organization to adjust, you have to be a star performer. You can't just be average.
I think we that have now made it into the room owe it to tell people how we do it. We stand here and act like super women with our K, our S. Let me take the Tangerine off and I have my S. I don't have any S, so, and I don't have any K. So I have is I'm organized. If we don't tell the people out there that is how I achieve this, what seems like I'm at par with my male colleague. No, there's a process to it, and we really need to sit, and there's sacrifices too as well. So that is the one thing they don't understand. There's sacrifices too, so we need to really share that in addition to the resources being given to you to make that equitable playing field, you yourself need to make life equitable for yourself.
It's just to let women realize that you can have it all. It is possible, but you've got to be organized. You've got to identify and recognize and take help when you need it, and you've got to know that there's nothing limiting you.
As women who have now risen, we're now executives, we now have at the table we also owe it to the corporate world, to the private sector, to the government, wherever it is we find ourselves. If you're a woman leader, push change. We need to encourage women to be just as, aggressive and as men, and make that okay. I had bosses who pushed me to be just as outspoken, just as confident, just as driven as my male colleagues. So that when it was time to either make partner, get a board seat, the conversation was not man versus woman. The conversation was talent. Who is the better talent? Who ticks all the boxes that we need ticked? Call it out and drive the change you want to see. First, be the change you want to see, and then drive the change you want to see in the workplace.
And on that note, I wish everyone a happy International Women's Day. Embrace equity.